Yo, yo. What's going on, guys? We have entered the phase where I need a light now for the live streams because it's getting dark quite early now. So we are back to the full setup. What's up, Justin? Matt Edwards, what's going on, dude? I think we're in business. Justin, 17 months, man. Thank you so much, dude. I speak for everyone when I say how much we appreciate your support, and being a moderator, Justin's been the only moderator, really. And 17 months is a long time, man. We're coming up on 2 years before we know it, which is crazy. So some exciting things going on. Morgan Anderson, what's going on, dude? Jeff E, guys, if you didn't know, which I don't know how many people would know, but Jeff came out to Indianapolis. He drove over from Ohio, and so we met up on Friday. It was really cool to meet Jeff. He took some photos, hung out, so yeah, it was really cool to see another Stoke Squad member in person. It's just kind of always, it kind of breaks down this barrier right here, and it's yeah, it was just super rad to actually meet another one of you guys. So thanks for coming out, Jeff. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm glad it all worked out in terms of the pass and everything like that. So the invitation will be open next year as well. I have, you know, passes, paddock passes to all of the races. So if there's a race in your town or something like that, yeah, it's a matter of just giving me like your name and address, and you can get in. So thanks again, Jeff. Jerry Cross, congrats for a great season. Thanks, Jerry. I think all in all, it was turned out to be pretty well, especially going in with sort of the expectations and goals that we had originally. We did end up finishing P3 overall, and I think we proved that we were a pretty consistent front runner, and unfortunately just had a few unlucky breaks. And in a field like that competitive, you know, you really gotta be winning to claim P1. So I went, originally my goal was to just be consistent, because that typically wins championships over just being the fastest. But yeah, people were fast and consistent. So Mark Lambert, what's going on? Is the music okay, or is it too loud? Soren Jones, 10 months. I think this time it's right. Full year coming soon. Let's go, Soren. Thank you, man. 10 months, you're right. Full year. It's going to be coming up here soon, just before ski season, really. I was so bummed out when Lucas got hit going for first at Indy. Papa Joe to get second race. So yeah, I was equally bummed out, but I guess that's racing. At least we were able to recover somewhat, but I think that was our time. But yeah, Papa Joe got like so much better these last four or five races, really, since Road America. Sometimes he was only half a second off the leader's time, so he was definitely really is getting it down. So we do a lot of coaching. I'm constantly working with him through data and video. So, but yeah, for his age at 61 years old, I mean, he's doing really, really well. Luca Tinworth, hello. Cody Covey, what's going on, man? Cody is one of the most recent Stoke Squad members. What up, dude? Building maintenance for a few weeks before returning to lifts. P3 Grassman. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it's that time of the year, right? When everything shifts over. Summer operations are done, and time for winter stuff. So I actually just put together some ski itinerary stuff. My plan is to go to a basin when it opens. So I would think, I don't know, probably next week it might open. I don't know for sure, but then I'm gonna be doing basically a Canada trip in January. I'm gonna go up to like Washington and do stuff up there, and then head up to all of the Canadian resorts now that everything's kind of open to travel. So that basically there's so many resorts between British Columbia and Alberta, so I'm really stoked to do that. Mark, what's going on, man? Let's go raise the Stoke. That's right, dude. Great to see you. Pharaoh, Garage Boys are live after the hurricane. We still recovering. Dude, first off, we're so stoked to hear that everyone's okay. We missed you the last stream, but everyone was thinking about you guys because that was right when the hurricane was hitting, and it was our understanding that you guys really got the brunt of it. So I hope you guys are all right. I hope, all things considered, everything's going to be okay, but stoked to see you guys here. And everyone truly was asking about you guys. The stream was not the same without you, so. Nice job on racing back to the field and finishing silver in the first race. Yeah, we just kind of put our head down and just started going at one after the other, so. We had about 30 minutes, because there was a double yellow that came out, so 30 minutes to do it, so. 61 years young, yeah, that's right. 61 years young, he'll be 62 in March. Never really understood this portion, but you can talk about who owns the cars y'all drive or how that works. Yeah, so Joe owns the cars. Joe really owns all the equipment. He owns the rig, he owns a lot of the tool stuff. Trying to think what he doesn't own. Joe really owns just about everything. Then we essentially contract out Rigid Speed Company, who is the team that supports us. So they worked out a deal in terms of how we pay them based on the fact that Joe owns everything. But the cars themselves, typically how racing works is that you will own the car. There are situations where you can do what's called a Rive and Drive, where you will pay a rental fee for the race car, so someone else owns the car and then you rent it out, race it, and pay for all the consumables and stuff like that. But we in all of my racing, we've typically just owned the car rather than rent the car. So that way we kind of know what we're getting. We can take care of the car and all that sort of stuff. So ski season is ending here in New Zealand. Well, you live in an awesome place, man. So summer or winter time, I think there's plenty of stuff to do. How hard was it to recover after he hit you in the first race? Amazed he fought back to P2. I was more or less just really enraged, probably too much for in a race car. I was just really upset on the radio, but I knew we had the pace to do it. So once I felt like the car was okay, it was just a matter of just picking off people one by one. So I basically didn't, the guy who hit me got a penalty, which made that easy. And really, the only guy who I had a little bit of trouble with was the pass for P2. It took me a few laps to actually make the move stick. So, sometimes when you just have the faster car and the faster driver, it's just a matter of being smart with your passes and then working through the traffic. So the double yellow did help because it bunched everyone up. So I was kind of starting right behind everyone. So that definitely was good for me, where if there wasn't a yellow and everyone was strung out, I don't know if I would have even caught up to some of the fields. So. Epic and Icon, yeah. I didn't realize that Epic had so many Canadian resorts, even though a few of them are like Quebec and more like on the East Coast. But yeah, there's quite a few. So that's kind of my plan. I need to sort other logistics out. I've been thinking about the whole Starlink thing for internet, Wi-Fi, especially if I'm gonna be in Canada for a few weeks. But yeah, I want to be able to keep streaming, and that's I'm worried that trying to stream off like hotspots and just random Wi-Fi might not be the best thing to do. But I am gonna start making more ski videos now. I'm gonna do I get like a ton of comments on old videos, like when you doing another ski gear video, because I've done those like the past 2 years. So I'm gonna, I think, pull one out Friday, even though nothing has really changed from my other ski gear videos. So yeah, I'm gonna start to trickle out a little bit more ski related stuff, and then like I said, once a basin opens up, I'm just gonna go rip out there, even though it's gonna be one run, the white ribbon of death. I got lectures to do, another homework, so you have a nice stream. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Soren. Thank you for the 10 months, my friend. So on that note, if you guys have anything like particularly you wanna know or anything like that, and you want a video about, like, I would be open for suggestions or anything like that. So. Really think Starlink is the go. Yeah, my only reservation about it is that it's not very stealthy. Like, you gotta have a satellite out there. And yeah, it's not like something you can just like flip on inside the van and go. So that's kind of like, that's the biggest bummer. And then I do feel like it's a little expensive. Like $100 something a month, but it's probably worth it for what you get from it. So gonna be in Washington this whole winter. It sounds like Stoke to be able to get to the mountain more often than just a couple times. Hell yeah, dude. Where in Washington are you going to be located? Like Seattle area or Tacoma or whereabout? Wreck December 15th to 19th. Nice, Jeff. Should be pretty rad. The before Christmas skiing can always be a little bit risky if there's either no snow or like there's been some freak storms and it's really good conditions. Unless something changed, I don't think Starlink is mobile yet. I think they make like a Starlink. It's called Starlink RV. So I think they do have a mobile version of it actually. But I don't know. It's not like, yeah, I don't think it's super mobile, but I do think they have an alternate version for RV stuff. Could be wrong though. You want video dropping your sticks off at a tuner, proof or it didn't happen. Yeah, I do need to do that, but I'm also like, man, I do not want to do that. But yeah, I need to get the JJs tuned up. Park video. I don't really ski park, my friend. East side, Yakima will be going to White Pass. Okay. Not super familiar, but I'm just trying to envision east side of like Washington. Hey, yo, I'm late, but what up? What up, Chin? You're not late, dude. We're just getting started. It's not cooling down at all in Utah. I mean, it's getting down there at night. It's like, it was 30 degrees overnight. I mean, it's not like super cool during the day. It's still 60, 65 degrees, but it's still a little bit early. I mean, like Snowbird and Utah's, or, you know, Park City, they don't open until Thanksgiving time, you know, so still got a little ways to go. And traditionally, every time there's an early season snow, it usually leads to just bad avalanche conditions later in the season. So we don't necessarily want a bunch of snow right now, to be honest. We'd rather have a nice sort of gradual transition of the temperatures in the seasons. $13 of us, damn. 13, lucky number 13. Same setup for next season. Referring to what setup, Mateo? Hey, Basin's been so I know, dude. I've been keeping an eye on him. I was just saying that I'm gonna head out there when they announce opening day. I've seen it as early as, like, you know, the second or third week of October, but I think I'm gonna head over there for an opening day video. But they should definitely be the first to open, I would think. And usually Keystone follows shortly, and Vail. I mean, usually Colorado's the first to at least open something. So I'm trying to kind of plan that whole trip. Another one on RV version, we just hadn't heard it being done. That'd be nice. Monthly is a bit spendy, and that front equipment sucks as well. Yeah, it's like what, $500 or something up front, and then yeah, $100 a month. But I really don't know what my other options are. I mean, I just hotspot off my phone. But what I found is that even when it shows that you have like full service, it doesn't mean that you have like good upload and download speeds. And especially for something like streaming like this, I feel like I need a pretty, you know, reliable connection. And yeah, it will be nice just to be able to rely on internet in Canada and stuff like that, and not have to worry about phone plans or whatever. I don't even know how it works anymore, to be honest. I remember when I was a kid and you'd go out of the country, you had to get like, you were like roaming and you had to like set it up with your phone carrier and all this sort of stuff. So right past the south and on the eastern slopes of the Cascades, closer to Yakima than Seattle. South and on the eastern. Okay, interesting, cool. Yeah, I think the tentative route is to do something like head over to the PNW, ski the whatever the mountains over there, then head north over to Vancouver. There's a few mountains on the Epic and Icon Pass, like right outside Vancouver. And then from there head up to Whistler, ski Whistler, and then basically just continue east, and then just kind of go in order of different places like Revelstoke, Kicking Horse, Fernie, and then eventually make our way over to the Banff area in Alberta and do everything like that. I mean, it'd probably be a good month-long trip, at least, between, yeah, spacing out ski days and everything like that. And I would love to check out like Lake Louise in the wintertime and Jasper National Park, all those sort of places I went to in the summer. I'd love to see them in the winter as well. So kind of budgeting just other days to hang out and explore the Canadian Rockies as well. So, but yeah, I think it'd be a super rad trip to do. I'm driving up to Washington from Tennessee and plan to have at least one resort in Utah. I'm not sure which one yet. Do you have like a big pass, or are you saying you can just kind of go wherever, Cody? The like button, it's minimally invasive, that's right. If you guys enjoy the streams, hit the thumbs up button if you want. If not, no big deal. The ski setup and gear, yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna put out a video on Friday about my ski gear, but it's literally all the same as the other, as last year at the moment, so. If anything, I could see myself upgrading to like a newer year of JJ's, but I'm like, man, I don't know if I really need to. What I have works, and yeah, I'm not a huge gearhead when it comes to skiing. Loveland is usually first. Oh, to open? I could see that. I've never been to Loveland. I used to always drive past the Gourmet Basin, but... Big White, don't forget Big White. I'm going wherever like Epic and Icon Pass, you know, have resorts. I'm just gonna go those places. Unless there's a resort that's not on those, that's like, you have to go to it. I could see myself buying a day pass for stuff like that, but where will we be hiking next from Jeff? I'm not really sure at the moment. I mean, if anything, I was thinking about doing a Sedona trip in Arizona. I guess I just have to sort of map out the trips, make sure the van is all ready to go. But if I head out to Colorado here the next week or so, I'm just gonna kind of see what happens with the early season skiing and stuff like that. But if anything, it would most likely be desert stuff. So either some of like Moab or Zion. I'd love to get back to Zion this fall. Or Arizona has a lot of cool stuff as well for this like shoulder season time. Do you think winter has a lot less contracts jobs available for you? I mean, not necessarily. Especially being out in a place like Park City, which is, you know, obviously a lot more, you know, winter focused, being a ski town. Honestly, the thing is that I nailed a really large job in September, with the one right before the PNW, that I'm honestly set for a while, that I think I'm just gonna float with the stuff I make from the channel, to be honest. So my plan is to just kind of go full-time into YouTube these next few months, and then if the right job comes up that's worth the time and the money, I will definitely take that. Like I did something last week, you know, so stuff like that. But I'm honestly in a good position to be able to just pursue the channel more, and yeah, just see what happens with that. So, but there's usually plenty of stuff to do in the winter. I'm going to Whistler February 26th. Nice. Ram, that should be dope. Yeah, there's so many options of where to go. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. Just gonna go with it. I figured it's kind of the time to do it. Just gonna let it rip. But could all go to shit in a month, and then. But I think it'll be all right. The bigger thing is just making sure I stay healthy. You know, not get too jaded to skiing. I'm always worried about getting hurt. And honestly, racing for next year starts super early. Like the first rounds is February 23rd and 24th, so it's very, very early. So it's awkwardly thrown in the middle of ski season, which is kind of weird why they did that. But so I just got to keep that in mind. That's why I'm thinking I got to see what happens with testing in the off season, because we will typically test in January. So I'm just trying to balance a trip like to Canada with that, but there's no reason why you know, I can't fly out of a different airport. I don't necessarily have to be in Salt Lake to fly out of there. So yeah. And then looking way ahead, we have like the whole month of July off for some reason. The schedule's just kind of weird. So I'm thinking about ripping up to Alaska in the summer with Luna. It could be really cool. It's like the best time to go. But that's way in the future. I'm just trying to think of stuff. But yeah, lots of different options. I think it'd be rad to have Luna up in Alaska, but that's also a super hefty trek. Will we be in the BMW next year from Jeff? Yeah, I think I will be in a BMW of some sort. Still kind of undecided right now. The bummer right now is that they don't know the delivery of the new GT4 car, the M4. So I could also see myself going after the TCX title again in the M2. They are introducing a Honda Civic in that class, so it's not going to be all M2s next year. So there's like a few different options. The bummer with GT4 a little bit is that there's so much more carnage and crashes and stuff that it could just be a bummer to, you know, travel somewhere and then you don't even get in the car, you know, because your co-driver gets in a wreck on the first lap or something. So and I think also another year in the M2 we'd be really quick, just another year in the car on the track. So I'm either gonna be in an M2 or an M4, I guess. So I will be in a BMW. Speaking of racing, learning tracks, give me some wisdom. That's right. I mean, I guess the biggest thing with learning tracks, it honestly comes down to experience, which doesn't really answer your question. But the biggest thing is like driving to the number boards. If you notice, like on different tracks, they typically have number boards or brake markers, and that's like a really good way to get up to speed quickly and at least have some sort of markers, because it can obviously you can feel super lost those first times you go out. So I think having marks throughout the track that you can drive to and say, okay, it's safe to go here, let me try to go another 50 feet, and then you push it the next lap, and then you kind of push it until you kind of hit the, you know, too far, and then dial it back down. I think it's also important to know what turns you can push it on and what turns are not as safe. So Indy was nice because there was a lot of room on those, like turn one, you could just go straight through the oval. So there was turns where you could particularly push it, and there's turns where it might be safe to not do it as much. So I think driving to the markers, and I guess it's hard, Chin, because I think you're referring to it from a sim racing standpoint, and so I'm trying to think of like in sim racing. I drove today at a track called Osterschlaben on the sim in a GT4. I did like 10 minutes of practice and then just went right into the races. So I feel like it's just a feeling, you know, like I think just the more you drive, the more you can figure out what type of, you know, how you're supposed to take certain corners. I think knowing what corners are the important ones, which corners give you the, you know, extract the maximum lap times, I think is important. Yeah, learning tracks is a unique skill set in and of itself, and getting up to speed quickly. But in Indy, we went out, I think like lap 4, we put our fastest lap in, which was the fastest lap we did all practice Friday. We did it like right away. Pushed a few more laps. Car started to just kind of fall away. So I went in for a tire check. We, you know, pressures were getting too high. We missed the starting pressures there, went back out. And I think we went a tenth or two quicker after that. But we were basically on the tire right away. And a lot of that comes down to working with it on the sim. But yeah, I think that's a strength, is being able to just get on the tire right away, the lap 2, lap 3, both in a race situation and then also practice and qualifying. So it's super tough to learn tracks in a sim. I feel like sometimes the sense of speed isn't as good. Maybe I'm heavy-footed on the accelerator in a sim versus real life. Yeah, obviously the sense of speed isn't as good, and you don't have the feeling that you would in real life. But I would definitely start slow. You know, like I'm typically always going down an extra gear, and then once I get up to speed, I'm in the wrong gearing. But yeah, starting slow, making sure you just hit the apexes, getting a feel for the track rather than trying to overdrive it right away. Austin Ken, as long as you don't miss the enduro. Oh shit, in July. Yeah, if we do that again, I would make sure to be back for it, to defend our title. Are you doing M2 again? I feel like last year we mentioned maybe a different level. I don't remember if I'm just making it up. No, Cody, you're right. We might be moving up to the next class in an M4. So basically just the next model of the M2. But I don't really know, and I don't know when I will know, because we're basically at the mercy of BMW Motorsport. So. Rec opening day in less than a month. October. When is their opening day, man? For the Washington ski route, there's RV parking at Crystal Mountain in Washington. Next, Alpentel ski in, ski out, RV parking. I've got lift tickets covered at Alpen. Third, Stevens Pass is north. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to talk about it as it gets closer, and I can kind of get all these figured out, but. Yeah, the whole parking in the winter sucks because of snow, but it never doesn't work out if you think about it. You never are trying to park in the van and it just like you can't find a spot. Like it always works. Hell, we were able to do it in this Sierra Superstorm or whatever. I slept like in a bakery one night. I think people get pissed off, but. Braking at the markers, yeah. Braking at the markers is a huge way to just get some of the corners out of the way, because I mean racing is so much of just about hitting your marks every single corner. Like unless conditions change, the marks almost never change. Like turn 1 at Indy, we were braking at the 550 every single time, right? It's like that stuff doesn't change. And that in a way that's what makes racing very routine and consistent, is like you go to your brake marker and you stand on the brake pedal. And then once you get that point, then it's a matter of literally dialing in 20 feet, right? Or whatever, 10 meters this way. And that's what I work with Joe on a lot. You know, he's always 10 meters too early, or he doesn't put enough pressure right away. So at that point, it's like really minuscule. So. But you have to get up to speed right away, because you can't get a read on the car if you're not on the limit of the tire, you know. So that's part of my goal, my job, what I need to do for Alden and Tyler is like I need to get them an accurate read on the car, and I can't do that if I don't have good tires. I can't do that if I'm not at the threshold of the car. So. And a lot of times in those like series, like those pro series, it's like if you have a wreck and there's a red flag, like they'll just end the session, and so then you lose the whole thing. So I knew like Jacob Rudd, he had been there last year, Steve Strymer had been there last year, Olivia Askew had been there last year, and a lot of these teams in general at least have had drivers that were at these tracks, so they have data, they have video. We went in like we didn't have anything. We didn't have any data about this track. I mean, we personally didn't have any video. There's video online. I did some stuff on the sim, but like we just have no information on this. So do you look at the track before and pick out your racing line, or is it more like I am making adjustments as I drive? I mean, short of just knowing which way the track goes, left or right, it's totally about just making adjustments as I go. When I drove the Enduro at Utah, like I didn't even know which way the track went. So that I literally went out and was just like, I just started going through each turn, and then every time you go through a turn, it's like you put in the back of your mind, and so when you go next time, you make the adjustments for that turn. But it's really hard to like look at the track from like a piece of paper and be like, this is going to be my line, because you don't see the sort of little, you know, undulations and idiosyncrasies, and like, are we going to be on the curbing here and not on the curbing here? Is there a bump in the braking zone here that we have to go around? So it'd be really tough to look at the track like before and pick out a line. November 11th. I'm a newbie to racing. It's crazy that 3 classes are racing simultaneously. Yeah, I think it, you know, could be kind of weird, but I love mixed class racing, multi-class racing. I think it's so much fun. It adds a whole different element to it. And yeah, I don't know. You don't necessarily have to be the fastest to win. I mean, obviously helps, but it just adds a whole nother layer into racing. You know, not all racing is mixed class like that, but it is pretty cool. But sometimes the closing speeds between us and the TCA cars is like miles different, so it can be, you gotta be super heads up. Only if it really comes through the M4s, we'd love to see you guys move to G4 as long as the new chassis BOP is competitive. Yeah, and that's another reason why we're kind of like, you know, I don't know, I'd love to move up to GT4, but I also wouldn't be mad if we didn't, because like then you're dealing with BOP, you know, dealing with a lot more carnage just in general. So I think the new chassis would be competitive, you know, but I guess you don't really know. Yeah, the M4 is just such a badass car. It's so sick. We sat in it at Virginia, and the thing, it's like, I mean, it's 2023 car, you know, so it's like, it was just so beautiful. The steering wheel, the way you sit in the cockpit, like, it was kind of unreal. At the same time, I do think you could win T6 if you did another year. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be the plan, to be really go for the title. You never know who's, you know, what young hot shoes are going to come in next year. And if people do come in with this new Honda Civic, you know, you're dealing with BOP in that sense as well. So, but yeah, would love to, like I said, wouldn't mind going for the title next year in TCX. We've been to all the tracks now at this point. You know, I had been to NOLA before, but only once back in 2015, so that was kind of up in the air. I had never been to Sonoma before this year, so now that we have all the tracks, we're going to Coda instead of Watkins Glen, but I love Coda, been to Coda a bunch, so we should be pretty competitive right away. And like, if I were to show you guys our setup from the first 6 races to the last 6, it's like we slowly found what works for the car, and I would say the last 6 races, the car is the best it's ever been, and I think that was, you know, last 6 races we were basically P2 every time. So I think as collectively as a team, we really started to figure out what the car likes and what it doesn't like, and kind of how to squeeze out the extra 10th or 2, and we would upgrade the car, hopefully, you know, to be as competitive as it can be, putting on the bigger radiators, you know, maybe running different brake pads, everything we can do to squeeze out those extra 10s, because I think that's where we lacked a lot too, is just our car was, you know, just a 10th below the top guys. So you're definitely carrying a pass in that turn 1 the first race. Yeah, the outside of turn 1, it was like just money. I see SCC Enduro Portland this weekend. What does ICSCC stand for? Intercontinental Sport Continental Cup. Watch second race on GT World. TV coverage jumps around. Classes one is yeah. That is the bummer with the coverage is that it jumps around a lot. I mean, the interesting thing about Indy this weekend was the TCA title was tied going into it, so that was like a huge sort of headline. Was the TCA title came down to 2 people, so they got to kind of show love on everyone. But the TCX race, that second round was really, really good. So I hope they separate the broadcast. I doubt they'd separate the broadcast, but they should do something more where it's like a split screen, right? It's like if there's a good battle going on in one of the classes, like they don't necessarily have to. Do they have to just completely cut away from it, or can they like put in the corner? Commentators go to another battle, but at least you still see the battle that's going on. Because I think like the first race, I don't think they showed any of us moving up through the field, other than maybe like the last pass or something, but you do miss a lot of what's going on the broadcasts. I'll just wing it more next time. Some sound advice. No, it's tough, man. I wish I could give you better advice, but a lot of it just comes down to seat time. The thing with a sim is like you can just keep practicing, keep driving around. But the thing I love about road racing is that like there is a perfect line. There is one ideal line, almost always. Like turn 17 at Sebring, you could argue there's a few different ways through it. But for the most part in road racing, like there is one, like the fastest optimal line. So it's like trying to refine that and figure that out, I think is what makes a lot of people, attracted to the sport, is like there is this sense of sort of achieving perfection. And at the end of the day, you want to make the track as straight as possible. That's like ultimately the goal. Is we want to like open up turning radius as much as we can and just try to be straight. Like the less we have to turn, the faster we're gonna be. So it's like how can we achieve that, and how can we set ourselves up for the important corners? Carlo, what's going on, man? Evan, DC, what's up, Lucas and crew? What up? Young hot shoes like Lucas Catani's shaking up the TCX class, yeah. I wouldn't say young, man. I was the oldest of the kids in that battle, so I had to race on wisdom and experience rather than youth. But the good part is someone like Bill Auberlin is 55 years old and he's still one of the quickest drivers on the grid, so that's inspiring. So I think hopefully I have a few more solid years of racing before I become irrelevant, if I ever was relevant in the first place. How much faster is TCX versus TCA? I would say man. It depends on the track, right? Because like Road America, a longer track, we were doing 25s, they were doing like 40s, 15 seconds. I mean, in a straight line, if we go 150, they're probably going 115, 120. I don't know, it's a good question. I don't have like a quantifiable answer for you, but we're a lot faster than the TCAs in a straight line and stuff. In the corners, they're just as fast as us. Are you scheduling a cooling upgrade? Yeah, we will be putting on the bigger radiators. It's expensive though. I think it was like $3,800 per car for the bigger radiators and stuff like that. So definitely not a cheap little upgrade. I still think you should drive Luna down from PC to Coda. On that way you hit up the desert. That would be rad. I would love to bring Luna out to one of the races. Coda might be the one to do it, or Sonoma. Sonoma could be a good one. The bitch with Sonoma is that it's a small paddock. Sonoma's like really tight. I had a hard time remembering the turn rhythm when I went to Thunderhill. It's a long track, about 4 miles. Took a while just to learn. Yeah, the longer tracks are obviously a little bit harder to learn, just because you get less repetition on them. You had to run your baby today. Running like a dream. If you switch to TCX, are you gonna sell your M2s or keep them? We're in TCX now, Devin. I think if you mean GT4, but there's a few things we could do if we were to move to GT4. We have interest in people renting the car from us, so we would essentially expand what is Rigid Speed Company and have more drivers under our tent and run more of, you know, a team format where we would have other drivers. So one option is that we would keep the cars and rent them. So someone would pay us, you know, a lump sum, and that's what I kind of mentioned earlier. It's like an arrive and drive. So you would pay this amount of money, you show up, everything's taken care of, and you race the car. And you would pay us a rental fee to rent the car each weekend. That is most likely what we would do, because they don't make those M2s anymore, so they're very hard to get. And if for some reason we don't want to do that, we would just sell both of them. I think it'd be a very easy car to sell. It's a great car for someone who wants to get into racing. There is traction control and ABS if you want to use it. You know, it's a very forgiving car to drive to sort of get into racing. It's quick, but not super quick. All that sort of stuff. The fire districtors on the hill. Making sure everything's ready to go. The leaves are popping right now too. It's so colorful out. Unless I'm gonna do TCX and GT3 for it. Dude, if we did GT3, that would be nuts, but I don't know if that would ever happen in my life other than on a sim. But yeah, that was the other thing, was doing TCX and GT4, but it's a lot of driving, and we would need a lot more crew guys. But yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I would rather see us rent out the 2 seats, and I do more like coaching for TCX and then driving the GT4. That would be a little bit more ideal and manageable, but according to online race, they were saying BMW 2s might not be able to do. Yeah, so in the TC class, which is the class below us, there's BMW 240s. So confusing it. You have the M2s and the 240s. The 240s are being discontinued. Not discontinued. They're taking them out of racing. So those 240s will not be running next year in TC, because BMW wants people to move into the M2. So a little bit confusing, but it's not the M2 they're referring to. They're talking about the 240. You mentioned them on to arrive and drives with them eventually. Yeah, that is correct. The problem, not the problem, but arrive and drives, it's like everything kind of gets taken to the next level. We would probably need a bigger hauler because we would have 3 cars now. Right now, we can really only fit 2 cars up top of the rig, and then between our track vehicle, all the wheels and tires, the pit cart, the alignment setup, that stuff all just shoved in the bottom. So we can't haul 3 cars at the moment. So if we were to rent out both M2s and then have a GT4 car, we'd have to probably get a 53-foot like tractor trailer set up more. So that's the problem with doing that. But at the same time, it would help subsidize some of the racing costs, you know. I think it'd be super cool, but I'm also not the one who's wrenching on the cars. I'm elevating and crashing in the bed, but instead I hit my rooftop and watch the world go, penning this shit inside my journal. Look up at the stars as I burn slow. Head to the Ville over by Shrouds. We in the house with the herbo as I throw on my starter. Once my ignition start up, it's go time, and we ain't even hit our prime in no time. In the city living, spending past our limits. Put my all up in it, only play to win it. What's the status quo? What's the scenario? Kicking mad. BC 9 months. Let's go. Fall's been amazing. Getting on some heists and getting some drone footage, so good. Backside of temp was on fire. Dude, I went to Alpine Loop before I went to Indy, and it was like barely even started turning colors, and I feel like it's been a lot later this year than before. But thank you for the 9 months, dude. We are lucky to have you a part of the Stoke squad, my friend. How much though? Chin's joining the team. I mean, put it this way, one set of tires is like $2,300 and you go through 3 sets of tires a weekend, and that's just for tires. So you still got to do fuel, you got to do entry fees, you got to rent the car, you got to pay for transportation. It's pretty expensive to do an arrive and drive. It would be sick though to expand the team, for sure. That's why, like, no matter what happens, whether we just run TCX by ourselves again or we move into GT4 and arrive and drive TCX, like, it's gonna be a lot of fun either way. What's the suspension setup do you run on the M2? If you're talking about like actual the suspension, a lot of stuff is just factory from BMW Motorsport. There's really not a whole lot in the suspension itself. We have like 3 different spring sets that we can rock. The sway bars are only 2-way adjustable, and there's basically a high-speed compression adjustment on the shock, so it's very, very limited in the actual suspension. A lot of the setup is done more in camber and toe, ride height, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't have an actual, like, we use JRZ 3-way shocks or something like that. But the actual car, let's see if I can link this. Sign into chat. It's my freaking chat. Does that work? I mean, that's the car from BMW, so it kind of shows you guys. It says it can go up to 450 horsepower, but ours are, you know, detuned about 330. That car at 450 horsepower would be scary. We need to track Stoke squad meetup. Dude, I'm down, man. The schedule's out. I don't know where we have most people, but we got Sonoma, we got Austin, Texas. Do we got any Texas people? We got Florida. One can dream. GT4 would be sweet. The M4 is weirdly in both. Yeah, it is. There's a few cars that kind of have the, you know, the one chassis in 2 classes. The Aston Martin's another one. Mercedes is another one. Dude, the M4 GT3 car looks just... It's probably my favorite car on the grid. Is that M4 GT3. That thing is just so sick. I'm in on the track Stoke squad meetup. That'd be fun. Even just all going go-karting would be a freaking riot. Does TCX let you change stuff on the fly, like brake bias for each turn? No, there's no brake bias adjustment. My biggest complaint with the M2 was the brakes. The brakes is still a street car brake system, so you have, like on a street car, it's called like what is it called? It's like a brake. It's a boosted brake pedal. So like you put 1 pound of pressure on the pedal, the car is actually boosting it, and it's putting 10 pounds of pressure. So it's, you know, so you have no pedal feel with the car. Where you drive like a cup car or a proper race car, you have to literally put like, you know, 100 bar on the pedal. You need to stand on the pedal, and typically with those you can adjust brake bias and stuff. So in my opinion, the brakes on the car suck, but you can't change any of that stuff. We can't change brake bias. We as drivers can't change anything on the fly in the car. There's nothing adjustable. How much faster is the M4 versus the M2? I mean, if you're talking a GT4 car compared to the M2, you could say the M2 is a GT5 car. They were running, what were they running? They were running 31s this weekend at Indy. We were doing 36s, 35, you know, high 35. So they're about 4 or 5 seconds quicker. I don't know if you mean like speed-wise, because like the last thing you look at is like your actual top-end mile per hour. But I think if we went 150, maybe they're gonna go 160. I don't know, 155, 158. Our own day at the track, dude, that would be sick. We'd all need to pitch in lots of money. I say somewhere we can drink to our heart's content at the nearest vineyard. Matt, that is not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I thought Indy was a great event though. It was a really cool place. We should do Florida so we all meet the garage gang. I'm down. I'm super down for that. No complaints of Florida. Where they based out of? Cape Coral. Yeah, New Orleans, Sonoma, Texas, Virginia, Wisconsin, Florida, Indy, so. Yeah, the M4 GT4, man, that thing looks so sick. So dope. The cockpit of that is unreal. Chin, why don't we sim race together? I was playing ACC the other day. I was doing M2 at Indy, even though it wasn't the right configuration. I'll play ACC with you. I'll definitely do ACC. Really last week was the first time I really got into it, and it was pretty rad. I like the online of iRacing better still, but in terms of like the driving of the cars and stuff, I thought AC was awesome. I think the sound is really cool on ACC. Like you go offline and you pick up marbles and like the dirt, and it's like you hear it underneath the car, which you don't really get that with iRacing. And now it's got me, I want to upgrade my sim rig a lot, but I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it if I'm just going to go out and ski, you know, these next few months. But I want to get like a proper sim rig. More pressing matters, Stoke Squad meetup. Yeah, that is true. That is definitely more pressing. I think we said the second weekend of March. If we did New Orleans, you'd really find out everyone. Yeah. I think that'd just be deadly. If we did it in NOLA. Did ACC help you at all with Indy? It did. The only bummer with it was that it wasn't the right configuration, which I thought it was kind of weird that you couldn't change to the other configuration. So that was where I liked iRacing, was that I could run the exact configuration, but it wasn't a huge deal. It was nice to get like the gearing on ACC for most part. So yeah, it all helped. I was running the M4 at Indy on iRacing and the M2 at Indy on ACC, so the sim definitely was huge. I'm gonna need to get ACC. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know what we need to do to play together, because I'm not like ranked high at all. I'm like new. I don't know if I can even do all the stuff yet. And I don't know like any of those tracks. I know like Monza and Spa. Other than that, they're all European tracks. March 11th and 12th. Park City. Be there. My sister went to school in NOLA. Isn't there like 2 universities right next to each other? Actually, just got a text from the owner at Zipline. Literally 12 minutes ago. He's got some new products and stuff. So we'll see what they got. Maybe some new goggles, some new poles. Who knows? We run NOLA before, non-sim. Yeah, I ran it in 2015 when the track just came out. Actually, it's kind of like, it's more like a little private, almost like a country club sort of deal. But that was the only time I ran it, was back in 2015, and then we ran it this year. So I actually like the track more than I tell myself. If that makes sense. I feel like people are like, oh man, NOLA, that sucks. And I'm like, yeah, dude, NOLA sucks. And then I get there and I'm like, I actually secretly kind of like this track, but it's something like you don't tell people you like NOLA. Zipline ski. Code Lucas for 10% off. I think that code is still going. Any blue runs for the Stoke squad at the meetup? I'm too old for double black diamonds. Jeff, we got you. I think that's really the majority of what we did was just chill runs. I think we have to destigmatize this meetup, because the meetup is super mellow. It's meant for people of like all skill levels. I don't think we even did a black diamond. I can't even, between both days. I don't know. I mean, obviously if there's a group of people, no, we did do a black because we went up to McConkey's. I do remember that. And DC went through the trees and stuff. But we took our time to get up there, and that was like more just a group decision. But yeah. Super mellow, snowboarders, skiers, doesn't matter. Beginners, experts, it's more about everyone skiing together and like enjoying. Rather than, yeah, gonna go huck some double blacks. Although, Justin did say he was going up to Jupe, so there might be some double blacks this year. But yeah, I think that the Park City Stoke Squad meetup video, I think it does a good job of showing sort of the atmosphere and kind of what we got around. So, not old, young, that's right. Too young for double black diamonds, Jeff. Plenty of options on both sides. Matt is completely correct. That's why I like Park City in general, is that there's tons of options, like no matter what. where if we went to Snowbird for the meetup, we'd be in a little bit more of a predicament. And we'll bring back viewer clips as the season gets underway, where people can submit their ski clips and we can all watch them and admire / roast / whatever else we can do to people's ski clips. So Nick Kreider, love your videos, man. Can't wait for the season to start and the great videos to come. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that, my dude. Can still have fun ripping fast runs on blues. That's right. Sometimes it's just like a groomer day. Some nice corduroy. Skiing double box is stressful. Brandon, okay, what would be your first recommendation for a mountain to go to first or second week of December for skiing, man? Oh, dude, that's I think that's a tough time to go skiing. I mean, mountains, especially first week of December. I mean, think about it. Sometimes a lot of mountains aren't even open till, you know, right before Thanksgiving. I think your best bet might be something in Colorado that's high elevation, like A Basin, Breckenridge, in terms of what's open. But Park City, all the month of December was like payday, like just the bottom stuff open. So that's still super early to go skiing, in my opinion. So I would recommend something higher elevation in Colorado for sure. And bring like rock skis that you don't care if they get messed up, because there likely isn't going to be a lot of snow. Second or third week of March, I'll be there. Second week of March, Chin, for you. Second weekend. We will have buddy passes available for those without epic passes. And what else do we do? Yeah, other than that, we just meet in the parking lot and let it rip. Be laid back, come and go as you please. Don't come as all, don't go at all, I mean, whatever you want. Justin and I can hug Jupiter, let's go. Justin and Chin are leading the way up Jupe. And leading the way down. So I was going up there. As to how I get down, that is up for debate. We can do a Stoke Squad hike to the top of Jupiter Peak. I got your footage. Hell yeah, I can't wait for this. I'll bet PC the week before the meetup, so you're gonna miss the meetup, Jerry? I'm gonna be an expert side slipper that weekend. Hey man, being an expert slide slipper is a good skill to have. Knowing when to side slip and how to side slip is very important. Just on the Peruvian chair at Snowbird, that's true. If you do find yourself at Snowbird, yeah, lap Peruvian. Or like Mineral Basin can be nice. Oh, my camera and GoPro. Let's go, Jeff. So will I. So will Devin. Cameras welcome. The more footage, the better. Currently, there's only a few resorts doing their snow guns. Yeah. Right now, yeah. I mean, it's still early, too. And, like, we all know it changes overnight, right? Like, it'll be fall, and then, like, boom. We wake up, and it's like, okay, we just got 6 inches of snow. And like, then it's game on, so. Should do a tailgate at the end of the day after skiing. We went to Mexican after that, after Park City. That's right. That was rad. Yeah, I'd be down for a tailgate. The bummer with on my end with the meetup was I had a ton of people RSVP'd, and then I would say a quarter of that showed up. So my plan was to like almost not catered food, but like get food for people, bagels and coffee and like all that sort of stuff. But like looking back at it, I'm like, it's like everyone RSVPs, but then not a lot of people show up. So it's a weird predicament, right? No porno here, yeah. Get your porno promo out of here. Is Papa Joe going to be at the meetup? He likely will be if I tell him in advance. His birthday is March 2nd, so we'll have to see. He's usually out in Utah for his birthday. It just depends if he extends it to then or not. But I'm sure he would like to be at the meetup. He was at the Solitude one. So yeah, if anyone wants free, unsolicited ski lessons, and Papa Joe's there, that's what you can expect, because he's gonna give you lessons whether you ask for them or not. So that's just what Joe does. You did a video on goggles, is still on your channel. Did I do a video on goggles? I don't think I ever did a video on goggles. I haven't deleted anything off my channel, so if it was up there, it's likely still up there. I don't know. And if it's just a ski gear video. But yeah, it should be up there. Is Papa Joe a good skier? I think he's pretty good for his age. You know, he skied a long time, and he skis. The thing that makes Joe good is that he skis with Olympians, World Cup athletes, like on the daily. So he's, in terms of like a technical standpoint and his form, like very, very solid. So he knows a lot of information, and I mean, he can ski just about anything. I think he's a little bit slower now as he gets older, but super solid skier. He makes like a bunch of these little freaking turns, like choo all the way down the freaking mountain. He's a mogul skier, so Papa Joe's the best skier. I think that'd be epic, getting a tailgate and also maybe renting out a room somewhere on a restaurant. That would be cool. That would for sure be cool. Like if we all, you're saying for like a dinner or something, that'd be rad. Renting out a room. So I think last time Justin did get like an Airbnb where a few people stayed. But yeah, I mean, the opportunities are endless. I don't think there's anyone to stop us. BYOF. Bring your own footage. Bring your own feet. Jerry Cross, 7 months. Stoke Squad, I may have to extend my trip by a few days to include the meetup. That's right. We'd love to have you. It'd be sick if we could have Devin and Jerry there. Father-son duo. Paid parking situation? How much we gotta pay now? I'm not even surprised. I feel like, yeah. I feel like everywhere you gotta pay now. That, or you gotta park in a free lot that's like 10 miles away. So, kind of pick your poison. Tailgate at the high school. Bro Segredo. What's going on, my friend? Happy all is excellent. Stoked to see you, man. It's so nice to see all the Stoke Squad members out, man. It's like week in, week out, just filled with green names. So I appreciate all you guys. You guys are the true OG supporters. We cannot have alcohol on the premises. You can't have alcohol at all? They can have like little like parking lot cops going around making sure there's no alcohol or what? I mean, do they want people to come to their mountain or no? Because that just seems like a pretty dumb idea. We'll see him this year. Group Airbnb for any that need to group up. They don't allow alcohol in the parking lot? Yeah, that's it. Have they always not allowed? Like, technically the alcohol is not allowed, but it just happened anyways? What is the fastest you've skied? I'm more of a GS turn guy myself. I love those high-speed turns. That's a good question. I don't know. I've never used one of those apps or anything to see how fast I've skied, but oh, I got you. No alcohol in the high school parking lot. Keep the kiddos safe. That makes more sense. Like I mentioned before, the #1 goal for this year is to ski as many POW days as we can. You guys are still getting a heli day this year, right? Yes, that is correct. In January. So, I'm thinking it's gonna be something where I come back for like holidays. Because last year I was not. I was in California, which was cool, but I might come back to Utah. You know, ski in Utah, do the heli trip, and then head out to the PNW and stuff. I think it's at the beginning of January, or like second week. And depending how things go, I would love to do like a heli day in Revelstoke if we go up there, but that's depending on how everything is going. Do you have a solo stove for Luna? Have a bonfire in the parking lot barbecue? I do not. I mean, I have like a camp stove, if that's what you mean. But yeah, that would be rad. Rose Segredo, thanks for all the wonderful vibes and episodes. Mad respect, as always. Sending vibes to you and the fam. Looking forward to your future journeys. Bro, we love you, man. Again, another Stoke Squad member that I was able to meet at Watkins Glen, along with Jerry as well. And then this past weekend, we met Jeff at Indy. So super cool to actually meet you guys. And yeah, bro, we love you, dude. Thank you for the 9 months, my friend. And remember, we're not going to the East Coast. Revelstoke Heli Day. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I mean, just when I was, you know, looking at the resorts, like obviously heli skiing came up for Revelstoke because it's a pretty popular area to do it. So but yeah, it just depends. Just depends on stuff. See how the channel goes. Revel looks delicious. Yeah, dude, it scared me, I'm not gonna lie. Some of those mountains in Canada, I was like, dude, this is Canadian Rockies are no joke. Like they have areas on the trail map that's like I forgot what it said, but it's basically like it must be where they do like the free ride world tour and stuff, because it's like open, but like only if you have the right equipment. You sign a waiver, you like submit your will, you have like 3 friends with you, you like, yeah, it's like, okay, this is a little bit too much. But definitely looks rad. And there were some cool places just outside Vancouver that like the terrain didn't look that crazy, but the views were like super rad, like looking down at the ocean in the city. So that would be a lot of fun to just go have some chill days there. And then obviously Whistler is Whistler. And then I'm most stoked for like the Alberta ones, Lake Louise, Sunshine Village, stuff like that, just because that area is so beautiful that I'm more stoked just to go there for the scenery than the actual skiing in the winter. But the terrain looks pretty rad too, so thank goodness. Yeah. Revel is one of the longest runs in the world. That's pretty rad. Do you guys think it would be... Alright, how would you guys feel if... Alright, I gotta think of how I want to word this. Is it okay to ski the same place 2 days in a row? Or should I just be like, alright, we're at Revelstoke one day, we hit it, then we're on to the next place. New video, new place. Because obviously you can spend a whole season at these places, you know? But I don't know if it's just better if we just like, boom, we just one day, try to ski, see what we can, then we're on to the next place. I want to see you ski Alaska or hit up Norway. I don't know if you mean Alaska or Alaska, but yeah, Alaska would be sick to go back there. And the resort Alaska is legit. That place is probably one of the sickest resorts I've been to. Norway would be rad. I would love to go to like Italy. Looking at the Epic Pass and stuff, like we literally can ski there. So I was fantasizing, but she's gonna be one for the bucks. I think it's gonna be pretty rad. I think it's gonna be cool. And I was thinking, like, I don't know how much Utah skiing I'm even gonna do, short of like the meetup and like I'll do Park City and stuff like that. But the stuff that excites me is like the traveling and going to new places, seeing like new lifts, you know, stupid shit like that. Like that's like what I get excited about. So that's what I'm gonna just try to capitalize on, is like the traveling and the skiing, rather than trying to, I don't know, ski Great Scott at snowboard again. I'm not saying it's not amazing, but right now I feel inspired to go to these places, and even if it's not the best skiing, because I do think Utah has some of, if not the best skiing in the country. It's not so much about, what I'm trying to get at is it's not so much about like the actual terrain as much as just like the journey and the experience and going to these different places. Vancouver, Gross Mountain. You see the night ski lights looking up from the downtown center harbor. That would be something I would like to do too, is some night skiing this year. I mean, I have clear lenses, I gotta put them to use. I don't think it was Gross Mountain though, Morgan. I'm not saying that's not one of them as well, but which one did it say? I don't know. I'm getting confused. Kimberly Alpine, Nakisaka. Dude, the Icon Pass is such a sick pass. I feel like that's my favorite over the Epic. Yeah, it was like Red Mountain, I think, in BC, Sun Peaks. I think those were the ones that were close to Vancouver. What about Mount Bachelor in Oregon? We got to put that on the list. The summit at Snoqualmie. We got to do that one. Dude, there's a lot in BC. Crystal Mountain, Mount Bachelor. Stevens Pass. Of the three, Banff has the best views, but I didn't enjoy the skiing as much. Lake Louise was my favorite to ski. Dude, I'm so stoked. I didn't know you went there, Devin. How about Norquay? Or Norquay? Is Norquay like the easiest one of the three? Did you go that one? 15 kilometers long, dude? I'm gonna get bored skiing for 7 miles. It's okay to do whatever the fuck you feel whenever you feel inclined to do it. Yeah, I mean, personally, I think you need more than one day at some of these places. Especially when I'm gonna make the trip up there. I would love to like hang out in Whistler for like, you know, 3 or 5 days, right? Like, those are places, it's not just like a passing through place. Even like Fernie, Kicking Horse, like, you gotta do multiple days, says Morgan. I say if you didn't hit everything you want to, go a second day. Yeah, I just feel like there's so much excitement around like that one video, like skiing this at Kicking Horse. And then once people see that, it's like anything less than that just doesn't have the same, like the same sort of grandeur. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I tend to just overthink shit, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really freaking matter. But for me creatively, like I feel like I can only do one day. Like I did some of those summer videos that was like over 3 days, and it was so much harder for me to like think of from a story perspective. Where like when I know I like wake up and I'm filming that day, like it's just easier for me to put a story of some sort together. I think you need to ski the same place twice in a row so you can get more of the terrain, because you spend like a whole day filming 3 runs because you had to hike. Yeah, you're not wrong, Jen. 3 runs would be a good day. Especially at a place like Steamboat where it was like you had to hike every time. Some of those resorts are huge. If you were just chilling in the van, as a 2-parter seems legit to me. Yeah. Yeah, think of something like Whistler. Like, how am I gonna do that in one video? The reason why it works though sometimes is that if I'm just going to showcase like the extreme terrain, I can get away with doing it in one day, because typically you can ski like the extreme terrain in one day. I say typically because a place like Snowbird or Big Sky, like you could ski those forever. Alyeska, yeah, Alyeska's sick. I didn't film. When did I go there? 2018, I think I was there at Alyeska. That was rad, but I didn't film anything at the resort for some reason. Epic partners, but our pets do work at Intermat in Switzerland. You have the Dolomites on the icon. Oh. Well, however it works, between the two passes, I would love to go international. Brighton had more night skiing runs. That's dope. Definitely want to do some night skiing. The problem is I ski during the day, then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ski at night, and then I take my stuff off after the skiing during the day, and I'm like, yeah, no way I'm going back at night. Bachelor has to be on the list. You can have Bachelor, then go to Washington. Yeah, that'll probably be how I do it then, Justin. Wait, how come I'm not seeing Mammoth? Is Mammoth not on any of the passes? Oh no, it is on Icon. Would it make sense to do Mammoth in like California, then go north to like Oregon, Washington? That would be freaking epic. Go back to like Kirkwood. You know, Mammoth, I know that's lower. Stuff like that, Palisades. That could be pretty dope. CMH heli ski on the Icon? How does that work, dude? How does CMH heli? I get free heli days. Just kidding. Lots of night skiing in Alpental. I could actually teach for junior high kids. I actually teach for junior high kids. Night skiing. I just want to do night skiing so I can wear my clear lenses. If you're gonna go up Snoqualmie Pass, you should just ski Alpental. Pentel. I feel like I need a physical diagram of the Washington resorts, because they all just like run into the same thing. Snoqualmie, Stevens, Crystal, Alpental. Snoqualmie ski area has no extreme terrain. Also, look, it's not just the skiing we're interested. We like the travel aspect of it too. Like, that's the whole appeal of traveling, not just skiing. Well, Chin, that's why I love you, man. But some people are like, why are you even talking in this video? Just put your skis on and start skiing. Shut up. I don't want to see what you have for breakfast. I'm looking up Snoqualmie Ski Resort. Bong Buddies 253. I love some of y'all's names, dude. Stay badass, bro. I love kicking it in WA State, man. Hell yeah, Bong Buddy. You've come to the right place. Overnight parking. Living the hashtag van life or interested in cozying up to the slopes for a night or weekend of fun? We have designated overnight parking areas during the winter season. Just show me a map. Damn. Wait, this is another one of those places where... So Alpental is the summit at Snoqualmie? Yeah, it's been an hour and 35 minutes. I gotta eat some din. West Coast would be great. Probably what I'm most excited for, if this all works out and goes as planned, is not having to see on the weekends all the time. The only place that looks rad is El Pintel. The other trail maps look like Sun Valley. Yeah, that hike looks gnarly. Damn. There are 4 resorts on that pass. What pass do I have then if it says I have... Wait, maybe I don't have that. Oh boy. Let's just have one freaking ski pass. Just called Ski Pass. You can just go to any mountain you want. No, the summit at Snoqualmie is on the icon. So is that, does that consider Alpental? Pizza delivery, dude, that sounds so good. My mom made soup. I'm gonna go over to get some soup. What kind of pizza, Matt? Gav Schuller coming to Mammoth this year. We were just talking about it. I don't know. I would like to. It'd be kind of cool. Don't forget Mount Baker. I didn't see Mount Baker. Yeah, the only Oregon one I see is Bachelor. Mount Hood Meadows is amazing. Mountain. Dude, oh man. I just love the mountains. Dude, Bachelor looks sick. Bachelor looks nuts, dude. Big ass volcano. You ski down the backside and you have to just walk all the way back. That looks crazy. Hey Lucas, are you gonna make it to Mammoth this year? Maybe, dude. Alpentel is that okay? So I have a pass to Alpentel then. Like Park City Cannons. Okay. See, Devin didn't know either. We're all learning. Yeah, but Devin, is it on one of the passes, or do I need to get a separate pass? Like a day ticket? Oh, I need to get a separate ticket. 87 bucks, not bad. Mount Shuckskin. You know it's gonna be dope when the trail map has like 4 lifts on it. Thanks again for everything. Indy, you, Papa Joe, and the team were so generous with your time and showed me the car. Congrats on awesome. Thank you, Jeff, man. Jeff, man. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you being a part of the Stoke squad, and it's honestly the least that I can do. I'm stoked you had a good time. Flat road that circles the mountain you take back. Backside of Bachelor was expanded several years ago thanks to the Cloud Chaser lift. A couple hundred yards of walking to circumnavigate Bachelor. Yo, so I see these overnight parking options. It says like reserve. Do these things really like fill up? I gotta reserve ahead of time. There's no freaking way I'm gonna know when I'm gonna be there from now. It's like reservations open October 15th. I'm like, is everyone finna like reserve all this? Because I'm not gonna know until the day before that I'm gonna be there. They're not during the week, they don't fill up. I think for yeah, even for Alpentel it says you have to reserve for overnight parking. Online reservations required. 35 bucks a night, dude. Holy shit. At that price, I'm just gonna go stay somewhere else, dog. I paid 25 a night at Target. 35, I guess, isn't awful, but it is pretty steep to stay in a parking lot. At that price, we're camping in a parking lot of a store. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Unless it's supposed to like be a crazy storm and you just want to stay there. Yeah, for 35 bucks, I'll go sleep at a Walmart. Okay, well this was a rad stream. Like I said, I'm gonna roll out a ski video here on Friday. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any ideas or anything you want to see as we get ready for the season. Probably gonna do another GoPro video of some sort. I'm gonna do a review on the Montec gear, a completely honest, unbiased opinion of the Montec. So when someone asks us that question, what I think of the Montec, we can just send them that video. Add me on Steam, we'll race. Dun dun dun. All right. How do I add you on Steam? Mine is, I think this is it. Wait, let me see if I can. Wait, I thought I knew mine, but I guess I don't. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna eat some dinner. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.